Welcome to Webinar 8 in the Financial Abuse Awareness Series. My name is Bill Mitchell. This series is part of the Financial Protections Project co-designed by the Queensland Government, Caxton Legal Centre and Townsville Community Law. This series is an online continuing professional development program that aims to raise financial industry awareness about financial abuse of older persons. Before we begin, we acknowledge the traditional owners of the land and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. This presentation is about the impacts of financial abuse. The slides are not read verbatim, but paraphrased for emphasis. They are designed to be standalone, readable modules and contain references for deeper learning. So let's begin. Before we begin this module, let's take a moment to think about this statement from Breckman about the impacts of elder abuse in the United States. He says that approximately 73 million adult Americans have had personal knowledge of a victim of elder mistreatment, and approximately 44 million adult Americans have become involved in helping a victim deal with mistreatment situation. Think about how this impacts on the community, given how many people are experiencing elder abuse. Understanding the impacts of financial abuse means being aware of the consequences of financial abuse on individuals, on services, and society. Understanding the impacts of financial abuse allows advisors to see the consequences of actions within their control they take or fail to take that lead to financial abuse. You can see on the right-hand side the learning outcomes for participation in this session. Here's an industry example where the FASEA Draft Code of Ethics noted that standards of client care had an expectation that an advisor should be aware of the consequences, including the client's broader long-term interests and likely circumstances. Accountants and advisors are therefore expected to take into account the impacts of financial abuse. The impacts of elder abuse are stark and include increased mortality and a range of adverse health outcomes, including a higher prevalence of depression and dementia. Losing financial assets to abuse is very harmful, but it's very difficult to recoup financial losses in older age. Additionally, financial abuse can take a toll on older persons' physical and psychological health. Financial abuse can have a serious impact on older people financially, and even a small amount of financial abuse can be catastrophic, especially to those who are on limited incomes. The individual impacts of financial abuse can include feelings of betrayal, distress, embarrassment, loss of self-esteem and confidence in one's own judgment. It can include denial, fear, self-blame, social isolation and loss of confidence. The emotional effects can also make older people more vulnerable to further abuse. There's a range of emotional implications that stem from financial abuse. These have a significant impact on older persons. The broader impacts of financial abuse are complex, but they are deeply felt within the community and society. There are impacts on health, care, welfare and social systems that are significant. The National Aging Research Institute has noted that the cost implications in the US associated with injuries due to elder abuse is estimated at $5.3 billion. In Australia, hospital admission costs due to elder abuse have been estimated between $10 and $31 million in 2007-2008. These don't take into account the other costs borne by the individual victim and the community. The Institute of Family Studies, their research on elder abuse has provided a cohesive picture on the issues within Australian society. It shows that older persons do hold substantial wealth. I'll let you read through those points. Researchers have also highlighted the tensions that arise in relation to wealth preservation or dispersal, the care needs of older generations, and the wealth transfer expectations of younger generations. Researchers note that older people's assets can be a site of competing interests. Families have an interest in protecting potential inheritances. The market has an interest in promoting lifestyle care and accommodation options, and the state is concerned with self-provision. There has been an erosion in the concept of strong and supporting family structure, and there's been an emergence of a shift away from self-sacrifice to self-interest. Before we leave, let's think about the impacts of financial abuse on the older person, their family, supporters and carers, the workplace, the broader community, institutions and society. Thanks for listening to this webinar series. Feel free to download the PDF files for future reference. The next module is on what financial abuse looks like. Thanks for joining us.